Hi, everyone. I'm Thérèse, and this is New York Girl Again, The After, the podcast for caregivers who have survived the hardest chapter of their lives and are now gathering both the courage and the strength to write the next one. Today's episode is deeply personal, and honestly, I almost didn't record it because this episode is about heartbreak. Not just romantic heartbreak, but emotional, spiritual heartbreak. The kind that cracks open parts of yourself you didn't even realize had gone dormant. For a long time, I believed this story was about another person. But the deeper truth is, it was also about me. It was about what happens when someone who has spent years surviving caregiving, grief, obligation, and profound isolation suddenly wakes back up emotionally. And I think many caregivers in the after are incredibly vulnerable to this exact thing. Because after years of putting our lives on hold, we stop asking, what do I want? Instead, we start wondering, am I still seen? Do I still matter? Is there actually any life left in me? Or did I give it all away? And then sometimes someone or something enters your life that wakes you back up. Suddenly, you feel more alive, more inspired and connected to yourself than you felt in years. And honestly, it feels intoxicating. Because part of you has been emotionally starving for years. I remember driving home one night, stopped at a red light thinking, oh my God, I actually feel alive again. After years of caregiving, grief, exhaustion, and surviving, I suddenly found myself caring about what I wore again, wanting to belong again, laughing differently, wanting to create again. And honestly, that realization was almost disorienting because I had forgotten that version of myself even existed. But what I eventually realized is this. I confused emotional intensity with emotional safety. And those are not the same thing. Someone can make you feel inspired, seen, and emotionally electrified, and still not be emotionally available in the way your heart actually needs. That realization changed me because for the first time, I had to confront a deeper question underneath all of it. Do I believe I matter deeply to another human being outside of what I give? That question hit me really hard because caregivers are experts at earning love through sacrifice, fixing, and being the strong, dependable one. But the terrifying question underneath all of it is, if I stop rescuing everyone else, who am I? This experience forced me to confront my longing to be chosen, my fear of emotional invisibility, and my tendency to overinvest in emotionally ambiguous situations. It forced me to look at my deep hunger to feel safe and cherished after years of pure survival mode. And while the ending hurt me deeply, I can also honestly say this. It woke me up. It woke up my voice. my creativity, my ambition, and my vulnerability. It woke up my basic humanity and the beautiful, terrifying realization that my heart was not dead after all those years of caregiving and grief. That matters because I think many people in the after believe they are emotionally finished. But maybe you're not finished. Maybe you're just frozen. There's a massive difference. Sometimes certain people come into our lives not because they are meant to stay forever, but because they awaken parts of us that desperately needed to come back to life. That does not mean the ending won't hurt. Sometimes it hurts terribly. Sometimes people fail us deeply, and relationships end without the accountability or love we hoped for. But it took a devastating ending for me to finally see the truth. Warmth is not the same thing as emotional responsibility. Chemistry is not the same thing as consistency. And emotional intensity is absolutely not the same thing as emotional safety. And what do I mean by that? Emotional intensity is driven by high highs and low lows. It is fueled by chemistry, longing, the thrill of being noticed after a long drought, and the anxiety of ambiguity. It feels like a lightning bolt, but it is inherently unstable. Emotional safety is driven by consistency, predictability, transparency, and peace. It means you can express your vulnerabilities, boundaries, pain, and fears without worrying that the other person will pull away, go silent, or completely ghost you. And because I was so starved for that consistency, that sudden shock of intensity felt like a safe harbor. In reality, it was just a storm that felt warm for a second. But here is what I know now. I deserve relationships where communication exists and the silent treatment doesn't, where kindness and reciprocity are the baseline, and where I do not have to endlessly wonder whether I matter. And so do you. Your heart is not weak because it still longs to be held, loved, chosen, or safe. That longing is the definitive proof that you survived, that you are still alive. And maybe the real gift hidden inside heartbreak is not the loss itself, but the return to yourself afterward. Thank you for being here with me today. And if your heart woke up a little bit listening to this, please share this episode with another caregiver who might still be frozen in the after. Let's remind them together that none of us are as alone as we think we are.